We have the gentleman from Puerto Rico. Appreciate you being here. Recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ranking member, members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify. I have 2 requests which I'll summarize. First, congressional action is needed to address a significant threat to public safety on the island of Culebra, Puerto Rico, which was used as a military training range for many decades. DOD argues that a 1974 law precludes it from funding the cleanup of a 570-acre parcel, much of which was conveyed to the government of Puerto Rico back in 1982. Culebra is the only defense site in the nation that DOD says it is barred by statute from decontaminating. In the last several years, DOD and some members of Congress have opposed bicameral efforts to repeal or relax the 1974 law. This opposition flies in the face of well-established federal policy that DOD is responsible for funding remedial action on property contaminated by its training activities. It is also difficult to understand since CBO confirms that effective cleanup could be conducted for $6 million. The current state of affairs on Culebra is a disaster waiting to happen because the parcel contains popular beaches, pedestrian walkways, and campgrounds. Since 1995, there have been over 70 incidents in which members of the public encountered unexploded munitions that could have caused grave harm. Indeed, in January, local authorities had to close a beach when they discovered a 100-pound unexploded bomb underwater close to shore. Last week, the Corps of Engineers issued a press release warning spring break travelers to Culebra to exercise caution during their stay and to be on the lookout for any items that could be potential munitions, noting that the likelihood of encountering munitions on Culebra is relatively high. This committee has been actively engaged on this issue in the past. The House version of the 2010 NDAA repealed the 1974 law to authorize cleanup of the parcel, but the House receded in conference. The 2011 NDAA required a comprehensive DOD study on this issue, which DOD completed in April 2012. In the 2012 NDAA, I offered a successful floor amendment expressing the sense of the House that the 1974 law should be relaxed or repealed if the parcel could be cleaned at a reasonable cost, which it absolutely can. But again, the final bill was silent on the issue. I respectfully ask the committee to again include language to modify the 1974 law and to defend this provision in conference. I would like to work with Chairman McKeon, Ranking Member Smith, and Chairman Whitman to accomplish this goal. I have been trying to resolve this matter for 5 years. I cannot rest until it is properly addressed because the stakes are too high. My second request relates to the budget line for counter-drug activities. No U.S. jurisdiction is more affected by the drug trade than Puerto Rico, which is a major transshipment point for drugs destined for the U.S. mainland. The murder rate in Puerto Rico is far worse than any state, and most of the violence is linked to narcotics. The defense title of the 2014 Consolidated Appropriations Act expresses concern about drug-related violence in Puerto Rico and requires DOD to brief Congress on the steps it is taking to support law enforcement operations in the U.S. territory. I am concerned that DOD has requested only $719 million for interdiction activities in 2015, compared to the current funding level of $895 million. DOD must request and receive more robust funding in order to adequately perform this vital mission. Accordingly, I hope the committee will provide increased funding so that Southcom has more of the maritime and aviation assets it needs to prevent major shipments of narcotics from entering the U.S. and destroying the lives of American citizens. Thank you.